Wagon Wheel War. Two of the nation's best defenses took the field and didn't disappoint. This is how the Wasatch was won.
Elder Express, a change in church protocol could have a major impact on LDS recruits who serve missions.
And all black everything. BYU is busting out the black for homecoming week. We've got an inside look at the new Cougar gear. I'm Taylor Lansford.
And I'm Sean Gordon. There's a top 10 team coming, and it's time for the Tube.
Sean, we might be a little bit early, but we are ready in our black, prepared for this blackout.
It's true. It's homecoming week. It's a blackout. Number 10 Oregon State is coming in this weekend. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First off, let's take a look back at the Utah State game last week. The Aggies got on the scoreboard first with a 26-yard field goal late in the first quarter, and BYU's second quarter chance to knot it up at 3 was blocked by Utah State. But the Cougars got the ball on their own 39 with just 28 seconds left, and that's all it took. Taysom Hill hit Cody Hoffman for 2 big gains to get to the 3. Hoffman would finish the night with 114 yards on 6 catches, but he wouldn't get the score. Instead, Taysom Hill hit J.D. Falslev for the 3-yard touchdown with just 3 seconds left in the half. And after a missed PAT, the Cougars took a 6-3 lead into the locker room. And it was all defense from there, led by Ziggy Ansah. The D-end, who couldn't even put on his pads 2 years ago, had 2 sacks and 3 more tackles for loss. And the D came up big in big moments on this trick reverse pass. BYU picked it off. Preston Hadley got the interception right there, stalling one of the Aggies' few chances to come from behind. And Utah State's last foray into BYU territory in the fourth ended in a missed field goal, giving the Cougars the wagon wheel and a 6-3 win.
It was fun being out there. You know, I think I might have lost a couple years off my life. Just, you know, kind of get stressed at times. But it was fun, though. So any way we can get a win, you're always going to come out smiling, I think.
What's fun, though, is they want to go out and play, and they kind of welcome whatever circumstance it is, maybe more than I do. I mean, I think they might be more resilient than me.
The BYU defense held its 12th straight opponent to less than 300 yards of offense. Ironically enough, the last team to gain 300 on the Cougars was Oregon State last year. And Bronco Mendenhall admits on-field miscommunication led to Taysom Hill's season-ending injury.
He interpreted that meaning run the play, took his eyes away. Victory was signaled in right after that, got hurt. So miscommunication, and I'm responsible for anything that happens when one of our guys gets hurt. So that's what happened.
Definitely not a good way to end the game, but we've got BYU TV sports reporter Corey Aldis here joining us in the studio to break down the Utah State game. Corey, let's look at the defense before we get back to Taysom. How was BYU able to shut down the two-headed monster of Chucky Keaton and Kerwin Williams?
Well, Sean, I think a lot of it had to do with the play of the front 7 for BYU. 3 sacks, 9 tackles for loss. Williams came into the game averaging over 100 yards, and he left Provo last week with just 18 yards on 14 carries. A tremendous effort from the front 7 for BYU.
Well, definitely, but the competition is about to get a lot tougher. How is BYU's defense going to be able to stack up against 2 straight top 10 teams?
I think this week they'll be all right, Sean. With Sean Mannion going out, Cody Vaz is coming in for his first start since his high school days. I think the real test will come next week when BYU is at Notre Dame facing Everett Golston. We'll see how the secondary holds up against him.
Okay, and the stats seem to back it up, but could this be the best BYU defense we've ever had?
Well, it could be number 1 in rush defense, number 3 in scoring, number 5 in total defense in the entire nation. The numbers do speak for themselves. As far as being the best ever, I mean, it's hard to say that, especially in comparing them against past, but again, the numbers speak for themselves.
And coming back to the Taysom injury, what does it mean not only for the rest of this season, but also he's the presumed starter next year? What's it going to mean long term?
It definitely means that we need to keep Riley Nelson healthy, obviously, for the rest of the year. As far as Taysom Hill, it's hard to come back from a significant knee injury, but I think he'll be ready by spring ball, and he already got some experience, so we'll see how he goes into next year.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Corey. Well, thanks, Corey. We'll see what happens as we come up against those top 10 teams.
Kyle Van Noy has gone beast mode for our Cougars this season. The junior outside linebacker is now on the defensive midseason All-American second team. Van Noy is the top 6 nationally with 3 forced fumbles, 6.5 total sacks, and 10.5 tackles for loss. And it's been his playmaking abilities that has BYU defense currently ranked 3rd in the nation. And with that defense dominating this season, they keep the Cougars on the game field. And well, again, for homecoming week, CougTube reporter Royce Hinton breaks down what to expect from the defense and offense of both teams.
Storming in at 4-0 with the number 10 ranking, it's been a really good year for the Oregon State Beavers, their best start since 2001.
Yeah, they've obviously improved and gotten better. We feel the same thing, even though, you know, we lost a couple close games in tough venues. We feel like we're a much improved team. So it'll be a fun game. It's a great opportunity for us to play on a national spotlight against a top-ranked team in homecomings.
BYU is 4-2 so far, losing 2 games by a total of 4 points. Winning against Oregon State last year in Corvallis proved to be a simple task, with the Cougars walking away with a 38-28 victory. This year, BYU's defense is ranked 5th in the country, but to come out on top, the Cougars are going to need to get the chains moving too.
All we have to do is just come out fast. If we come out fast, then our motive and our mojo start going and our flow start really going. So if we start out fast, then I think we will improve a lot.
So all we can do is practice it every day. You know, there's nothing magical about it. You just got to come out and practice it, and when you get to the game, you just have to execute.
The last time that BYU defeated a ranked opponent was when they played the number 18 Beavers in the 2009 Las Vegas Bowl.
All right, so it's going to be a really intense game tomorrow with black all over around us. But what about the QB situation? I know that we've had some troubles, and now Oregon State has troubles with their quarterback position. What about that?
Well, Taylor, quarterbacks from both teams are coming off of knee injuries. For BYU, it's the freshman Taysom Hill, and then for Oregon State, it's their starter Sean Mannion. So what BYU is going to do is they're going to start Riley Nelson, who's coming back from an injury himself, but he's ready to go. He should be good for the game. And then Oregon State's going to start Cody Vaz, and this will be his first collegiate start.
All right, and what other matchups do you see in this game?
Well, there's a great matchup between Cody Hoffman and then the cornerback for Oregon State, Jordan Poyer. Now, he's a top 5 NFL draft pick for next year, so that'll be a great matchup to look for.
All right, so Hoffman and Poyer it is. All right, thanks, Royce. Get ready to jump around in Madison, Cougar fans. BYU and Wisconsin announced a home-to-home series between the football teams. The Badgers travel to LaVell Edwards Stadium in 2017, and BYU will visit the Madtown to play in Camp Randall Stadium the next year. These games come in addition to the next season's game at Wisconsin.
And BYU's all-time passing leader will be taking the field at LaVell Edwards Stadium tomorrow. Now, he won't be in uniform, but Heisman winner Ty Detmer is in this year's class for induction into the College Football Hall of Fame, and they're honoring him at halftime of tomorrow's homecoming game. Detmer is a 2-time All-American and set 59 NCAA records as a Cougar. 9 of those still stand today.
All right, when CougTube returns. Black and blue, the Cougs are ready to beat down Oregon State, and tomorrow's blackout means Cougar fans get to see some unique unis.
And homecoming highlights. The week-long party in Provo is still going strong. We'll take you inside the action. So
even though tomorrow's game is in the afternoon, the stadium will be black as night. CougTube reporter Sarah Burchett is in Brigham Square. Sarah, whose idea was it for the True Blue to black out?
The Cougar Nation found out about the blackout 2 weeks ago, but BYU Athletic Marketing has been building up to the black for quite some time.
With Nike, the way it works is you have to order everything in about a year in advance. And so last summer is when Coach and our equipment manager met about it, and they met with Nike about it and felt like this year would be a good time to do it for a game.
Marketing used social media, press releases, and emails to spread the word. They also got in touch with one of their biggest players in the marketing game, the BYU bookstore.
They were the ones that decided they wanted to do it. In this particular case, they pretty much let us work with our vendors to come up with the logos that are on the shirts, and we stayed with the most popular logo.
The blackout t-shirts feature a royal blue Y and a white oval, a reverse play on the most traditional tee, and the Cougars are crazy about them.
We brought in about a little over $95,000 worth of clothing at retail, and normally for a one-game thing like this, we only bring in $4,000 or $5,000.
Fans have bought nearly 75% of the blackout merchandise on hand. The bookstore is overnighting more, but if fans fail to find their perfect fit, other options exist.
But if you have a black shirt, black t-shirt, whatever you can find in your closets, and if you can't find anything, put on a black garbage bag. Those are black.
Not all fans will have to sport garbage gear. The first 5,000 to arrive will get a free black t-shirt from BYU Athletic Marketing. So marketing and the bookstore are excited about this, but CougTube reporter Mary Blanchard talked to the people who will put their plan into action. Mary, what's the word on the street?
Some words that I've heard used are fun, tight, different, and totally awesome. And even though it's not the color the Cougars are used to wearing, they say that they aren't blue about going black.
It's black. I'm black, so it's not gonna be a new, different type of skin thing for me. So I just like this new uniform thing, but we gonna look real good in black though.
The look is new, but the heart of the Cougars beats steadily on.
We're changing the color a little bit, but we're wearing still the traditional uniform. Everything else is the same. And so we're sticking with tradition, which is what BYU is all about, but we're doing something fun as well.
One BYU tradition that remains untouched is the spirited student section, anxiously awaiting the chance to darken Oregon State's day.
But I think it'll just be cool to have all black and just kind of show Oregon State how tough we are and that we're not, going to back down against them.
We've done blue out and white out. I don't think it's a bad thing to do a blackout. I think it'll look really awesome.
It'll be tight in the student section and everything. Everybody in black.
Coach Mendenhall is a fan of tradition, but he says that he's excited to see the stadium in blackout mode. Sarah, I'm really looking forward to this blackout.
Me too, but here's my question. Will Bronco be wearing black tomorrow?
He says that he'll wear whatever his equipment manager sets out for him, so it looks like it's going to be another game time decision.
Gotta love those game time decisions lately, right? Well, I think it's safe to say that if everybody wears black, tomorrow's homecoming game is going to be one to remember. At Brigham Square, I'm Sarah Burchett.
And I'm Mary Blanchard. Sean and Taylor, back to you.
In addition to the blackout, homecoming week has many other chances for Cougar fans to go blue. Noonday activities in Brigham Square like darts, the world-famous Plinko, and even ice sculpting gave students a chance to win prizes and show off their Cougar spirit. But perhaps the best-known tradition is the hiking and lighting of Y Mountain.
Our whole purpose is to help create traditions that bring alumni back and encourage students to create traditions now that they can continue when they leave.
Tonight's activities include the BYU Spectacular and homecoming dances with a parade tomorrow morning. And BYU students redefined the term true blue on Wednesday. Blue foam smothered the green grass at Helaman Field as hoses poured thousands of gallons of goo onto a makeshift slip and slide. Students wrestled in the blue-green soap and threw gobs of the stuff at each other. Just one more part of this year's homecoming celebration.
That looks so fun. Well, it wasn't blue, but a pink out on the South Field last night as the women's soccer team observed Breast Cancer Awareness Month against San Francisco. BYU controlled the first half, taking 12, San Francisco 0. Kylie Royal came on off the bench with 2 huge goals, this one on the cross from Carly Payne Holm, and it went in the 81st minute. It was all Royal again, this time doing it all by herself from beyond the 18th yard line as the Cougars rolled into 3-1 victory. The Lady Volleyballers had to feel good about playing the Portland Pilots last night. With the team kills leader Jennifer Hampson on hand, she brought the hammer down last night with a game-high 10 kills. Alexa Gray added 10 of her own, and the Cougars mauled the Pilots in 3 straight sets to improve to 17-1 on the year. Their next home match is tomorrow against San Francisco, who they beat last month in 4 sets. The Cougars are still undefeated on their home floor.
And you can see the volleyball team try to continue that win streak at home tomorrow as they take on San Francisco in the Smith Fieldhouse. That game's at 7:30, so you'll have plenty of time to get over there from the football game. And then the equally dominant women's soccer team is also in action tomorrow, taking on Portland in Portland at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. You can also join in the homecoming festivities tomorrow before the football game. The homecoming parade will leave the Marriott Center East parking lot at 10 a.m.
And when CougTube comes back, Cougars and callings, the change in the LDS missionary age could have a lasting impact on Cougar recruiting.
And keep your umbrellas handy throughout the day and tomorrow morning. 11 game time weather coming up.
Basketballs are beginning to bounce as the hoop season is just around the corner. It was BYU basketball's time to talk to reporters, and CougTube's Jake Edmonds is at the Marriott Center with updates on what went down. What can we expect from this year's team?
Yeah, Taylor, you can almost feel the excitement outside the building here as the team's first official practice takes place today. Now, they spent some time away from the court on Wednesday to talk about the upcoming season, and they set some pretty high expectations. From the court to the cameras, the Cougar basketball team is happy to talk about the upcoming season. The biggest target on their mind, taking the West Coast Conference.
I think we've won 28 or 29 regular season championships in the history of our school, and we need to go, lay it out there and see if we can win one in the West Coast Conference.
The Cougars finished third in the WCC last season and find themselves without alums Noah Hartsock and Charles Abuo. They look to reload their lineup with young talent.
There's just a lot of guys who can really, they're threats. They're big-time threats to score the basketball, and that'll help our offense a lot.
It won't be easy. Those two combined for almost 28 points per game. Coach Rose will have to find those points elsewhere if they want to become conference champions. Now, Brandon Davies says that everybody on the team can hit from three-point range. If you remember last year, he took a few shots from the three-point line. He made one against San Diego, so you may see him this year take a couple of shots from beyond the arc, maybe not, but don't be surprised if he does. At the Marriott Center, Jake Edmonds, CougTube.
All right, so it's a new season, new faces. Who should we be most excited about this year?
Yeah, Raul Delgado, he's a newcomer. He transferred from Western Nebraska Community College, and at Western Nebraska Community College last year, he hit 93 three-pointers, 93. So, I would expect him to make a huge impact at the three-point line this year.
Wow, that will bring electricity to those new seats in the Marriott Center. Thanks, Jake.
And everyone at Media Day was buzzing about the LDS Church's lowering of the age people can serve missions and how that will impact future recruiting. So CougTube reporter Skylar Hardman spent this week talking to some of the people that are most intimately involved with BYU sports. So Skylar, how is the Cougar sports world taking this announcement?
Well, immediately church membership got online and just lit up the internet with excitement. As far as the sporting aspect goes, it raises some important logistical questions. The coaches and players, however, are looking and finding positives in the situation.
Male student athletes can now serve a mission before ever enrolling at BYU. This way, missionary service won't interrupt their 4 to 5 years in the program. BYU commit and ESPN Top 100 recruit Nick Emery is very happy with the news.
It's a huge benefit to all the recruits. This just gives you 2 years extra to mature yourself and get ready for that situation.
The players may love the change, but coaches are stuck stressing about the future.
It'll have an immediate impact on our football program. There are just so many different dynamics that we're looking at to kind of find the best solution for everybody.
Even though it could end up being a positive for men's sports, there's a chance that it will be just the opposite for women's.
Probably affect my next few classes when it comes down to it. Maybe some of the girls want to look at like what the boys have done, come a year, and then maybe go on a mission.
Time will tell what the change means for BYU sports. But for now, everyone agrees on one thing.
It's just a huge change for all of us.
The athletic department reminded me that this soon, after the rule change, there's no way to know how it will play out for individual recruits. They say the decision as to when and if to serve a mission will be left up to the athletes, as always.
Okay, and as you talk to some of the current players, did any of them talk about the fact that they would have left early if that opportunity had been available for them?
Yes, many of them did tell me that they would have left early, but others said they really liked. One example of that would be Mother Spencer is on the team right now, and by coming here for his freshman year straight out of high school, he's been able to play with his big bro Spencer.
Oh, no matter what, this will definitely be a game changer. Thanks, Skylar.
Taking a look at our weather outside, it's wet and cloudy. The rain from St. George has moved its way up north, and now we're experiencing it and will continue to experience it throughout the day. So keep your umbrellas handy, because today, even right now, we're experiencing a bit of rain, and over the next several hours, we're going to see some rain, and even into tonight. Right now, 55 degrees. The rain has brought with it a bit of a cold front, as well as some wind speeds from 10 to 20 miles per hour, as well as into tonight as well. So, and tonight we'll just throughout the day we'll increase up to 60 degrees, but tonight a bit of a drop down to the 40s. Tomorrow, hopefully the rain looks like it'll clear up before the game tomorrow, beginning at 1:30 at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. And so by then we should have just partly cloudy skies, but temperatures at 60 degrees, humidity a bit higher at 58%, and just a slight breeze. So weather should be good for the game tomorrow, throughout the game, by the end of it, maybe into the mid-60s, but nothing too cool or too hot. Looking at southern Utah, they're experiencing rain today as well, but tomorrow and into next week, we'll have sunny skies. Temperatures will gradually increase, like tomorrow, getting into the 80s. And over the weekend today, in the 60s, and into next week as well, we're going to be in the 60s and just hovering around the upper 60s and just in the low 40s in the evenings. And so weather's looking a bit better over the next few days, but back to you.
All right, thanks, Matt. When CougTube returns, it's all about Saturday. Who will win the battle? It's time for the most heated part of the show, predictions. This week we're going to pick the two games that are on Saturday, Oregon State versus BYU, and the traditional red rivalry game against University of Texas and Oklahoma. But let's see our records, and we'll see who everyone picked. So we'll get into that. And so, all right, Sean, you and me, we are winning. I'm sorry, we're not winning.
No, we're not.
We are back.
Don't try and say
all
you're
right,
winning.
Corey. But we are back to being tied with each other, which I don't mind. But so we are 6-4. But the reporters and the weatherman is beating us. What is this?
That's just what happens. Us reporters, we got the inside scoop, and we're definitely going to keep our lead on top.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. All right, let's get to this week's game and who everyone's going to pick. All right, so Sean, let's start with you. Who are you going to pick?
I'm going to go with BYU to win a low-scoring game against Oregon State tomorrow. And then I'm also going to take Oklahoma over Texas to win the Red River rivalry.
All right, Corey, let's go with you in the newsroom. Who do you got?
I'm going to agree with Sean halfway. I do have BYU in a close game against Oregon State tomorrow. But come on, Sean, I definitely have the Texas Longhorns taking down Oklahoma tomorrow as well.
All right, Matt, who do you got?
I have to agree with that. I think Texas is going to take it, and I think it'll also be a close game between BYU and Oregon, but BYU will come on top.
All right, and for me, I got to go with our Cougars. I pick BYU, and for Texas and Oklahoma, I'm going to go with our Texas Longhorns. Sorry, Hook 'em Horns.
I'm getting ganged up by a bunch of Texas natives.
That's right.
This isn't fair.
That's right, you are. But so the BYU-Oregon State game, guys, I think that the BYU can really pull this one out. Even though they're number 10 in the country, I think that with the hurt of their starting quarterback, now they're playing a guy, Cody Vaz, who hasn't started since 2010.
Oh, and this may be a game that you don't see an offensive touchdown, period. It might be whoever scores a defensive touchdown or gets the most field goals, because we've got two great defenses and two not-so-great offenses.
I do agree with you on that, but I think one of the key matchups of this game is going to end up being cornerback for Oregon State, Jordan Poyer. The guy is a baller. 3 picks last week, and he picked us off last year up in Corvallis. So if Riley Nelson's is scrambling around out of the pocket, one slight missed throw, that could be a huge mistake for BYU.
Yeah, definitely.
Neither of their offenses are too strong, but with BYU's defense, I think they're going to be able to take them.
Yeah, and in Dallas, it's the Longhorns all the way. Sorry, Sean. It's the Longhorns.
So a team that has given up 81 points in the last 2 games is somehow going to stop Oklahoma's high-powered offense?
It's all about Texas's offense as well. David Ash is playing out of his mind right now. 11 TDs, just 1 pick, and he's thrown 77%
Exactly.
complete.
We'll see what
Sean,
happens.
you're going down. All right. That's CougTube for Friday, October 12th.
If you want another look at the stories we did today or to share with your friends, check out the CougTube section of our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great afternoon.